In the previous video, we've already derived M and B. We've already derived M and B. So in this video, I'm going to give you an example with lots of data points, and our job is to come up with the equation of a straight line that is of a best fit for all these data points. So so the gradient is given by this thing here. So we need to know each component. We need to know the sum of y, the sum of x, the sum of the combination of x and y, and so on. So let's look at the sum of all the y values. So looking at our data points, we've got to draw a line of best fit. So this is of the form y equals mx plus b. Our job is to work out the gradient. Once we've got the gradient, then we can work out b. So let's work out the gradient, but to work out the gradient we need all these components. We need all these components and so on. So let's look at this one first. So y, the sum of all the y values, so that would be looking at all the y values. Remember, I ticks away from 1 to n. So in our case, n is 5 data points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I equals 1, sum up all the y values. So y value here, so it's going to be -7, take away 2, add 3, and so on. Sum up all of y values. That will then give you 11. And we've got to do the same for xi. So we've got to do the same for this. Later on we've got to do this. So let's look at this one now. Sum up all the x values. So that would be -10, take away 6, take away 2, and so on. Sum up all these. That will then give you -6. And then sum up all the x times y. So looking at this, get x times y. So that would be 70. And then get this times this. That would be 12. That would be 12. This times this. That would be -6. This times this. That would be +21. This times this. That would be this. And it comes up to whatever this is. And then sum up all the x squared. So square this, that will then give you this. Square this, that will then give you this. Square this, that will then give you this, and so on. That will then give you 230. So now going back to here, if you want to know the gradient of your line of best fit, then you've got to get this, which is this thing here, which is 11. So that it's got to be 11 times this thing here, which is -6 times -6, and n is your number of data points. N is, remember, I ticks away. I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, 4, 5. So in our case, n is 5. So in our case, n is 5. And then the sum of xy, is 187, and this thing here is this thing here squared. So that would be 36. And then n is 5, and then this thing here, which is this thing here, which is 230. So m is given by this whole thing here. And remember, b is this thing, which is 11. Take away. Remember, whatever this is just a number. We can now put this into here, and this thing here is -6. N is the number of data points, which will be 5. Well, we can work out m here. If we know m, then we can work out b. So if you punch this into a graphical calculator, it will then give you this line. So m turns out to be this thing here, b turns out to be this thing here. Punch in your straight line. That's your line of best fit. Okay.